Welcome to the Long Island View. And we are back after our hiatus. That's been a while. We've been crazy, crazy busy, both of us.
Yes.
And of course, this is the beautiful Joyce Philbin Collier. And it's good to have you back.
I've missed that.
Am I struggling?
No, I've missed the compliments.
Oh, hey. Well, I'm seeing you're a very busy lady, you know?
Yes, a lot of lobster this summer.
You've been doing a lot of cooking.
A lot of
Well,
lobster, a lot of cooking.
We have a great guest for you tonight.
I know.
great
I
guest
can't
for
wait
you
to get
tonight.
going.
Like I said, it's been a while since we've done a show. But a lot of things have been going on, and I know, Joyce, you've been very busy with the acting and cooking, and
Yes.
with the kids in
Entertaining.
college, and back
And-
home from college. And
Oh, I have very exciting news, though.
Go ahead.
Okay. Congratulations to my son, who the last time I believe that we were on the show, I had been talking about his graduation, and right out of school, he was hired by NBC to work as a sports anchor out in North Dakota. So I'm sad not to have him around, but I'm thrilled for him because he's doing an outstanding job.
Well, that is one thing that is great about Facebook, because I get to see him working, you get to see him working.
Yes.
Do you do the Facebook phone calls?
Oh, FaceTime, absolutely.
That is.
Yes.
My grandsons and my daughter and my son-in-law just moved to Tampa, and they've been with me their whole lives, and it killed me. It killed me, but that
The
is my
FaceTime is
savior.
awesome. Well, I got to
It's a
tell you,
savior.
and this is a great tip for any parents or family members, friends, that my daughter wasn't able to be home for Easter 2 years in a row. And we FaceTimed. She doesn't eat turkey anyway. So we put her in the middle of the table, and her head is on the table, like the Haunted Mansion in
Yeah, that's great. So she was there.
So she was there, and we,
That is really
It's
great.
awesome.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yes,
So he's doing well.
he's doing great.
She's doing great.
And the
You've
station's been really
blessed.
good to him. They got
How
him
does he
set
like
up,
North
and
Dakota? then?
well, it's not the middle of winter yet, so stay tuned. I think I'm
Yeah.
going to be buying a lot of
long as he doesn't do
layers
the
for him
weather.
to wear. Yeah, yeah. But he's pretty hardy. I mean, he went to school at Seton Hall. It got pretty cold there too. So,
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
it's going to get colder there.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
He'll-
And
he'll
it's nice to
survive.
see them fly, it's, of course, sad, and it rips your heart out that they leave, but, when you think about it, your whole goal was to get them.
Oh, yes.
that point.
And he's, the point in his life for him to pick up and go to North Dakota, not knowing anybody, not knowing what to expect, and just really being equipped with, the skills for the job, and leaving it in the hands of God.
Right.
Which is what I've always taught my kids when that uncertainty,
That's a good thing.
to
That's
just
a good thing.
believe and have faith, because, if you do everything that you're supposed to do, it works out.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. But I think, you have any other goodies, or?
I don't know, it's been a busy,
I thought you
I
were gonna
bought
bring-
another.
I actually thought you were gonna bring me some sauce, though. I seen you canning up.
I know.
Or
I gotta
jarring
bring
up,
it. I
whatever
will.
you wanna
I
call
did
it.
250 pounds of Roma tomatoes, and I have to tell you, every year it gets better. And there's like a little secret that I've discovered over the last year, which is to start with coconut oil. Everybody says
I
there's
eat that
something.
every day.
Yeah, there's something in there, and I don't know what it is, and that's what it is. It's the coconut
I
oil.
take a tablespoon right
Yep.
out of the jar every day.
I use
And
it for
soon as-
moisturizer.
You can put it anywhere. I put it on my neck, but when you put it in your mouth, it instantly turns to like oil,
Yep,
gone.
Yep.
It's pretty, and
Yeah.
it tastes good. It tastes good.
It tastes very good. I mean, I use it in everything. So,
All right, well, let's get to the real action here. The reason why we are here tonight, we have a very, very special guest, and we have with us from Carolyn's Cuisine, J. Carolyn Thompson.
Hi,
Welcome.
How are you?
And
Hi.
before we go any further, I want to let you know, her place is in my hometown.
I've
So-
heard, yes.
But let's first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Long Island
Thank
View. And I guess the best place to start is back, in your youth. I have read a lot of things about you as far as basically your grandma and your aunt
And my mom, yes.
brought you up, and they were known as the
Soul food queens.
the Soul
Wow,
Food Queens.
nice.
Yes.
What were their specialties?
Oh, my mom, her specialty was meatloaf. The meatloaf and her mac and cheese was
Oh,
phenomenal.
wow.
She also, she made a phenomenal pancake type of potato pancakes. That's
Oh,
what it is.
yes, okay.
My aunt, she did everything from scratch pies, anything. Phenomenal.
Nice.
And my grandmother, same thing. Anything that you would want, she was
And,
able to whip it
and
up.
what age would you say that you started taking an interest?
Well, everything was, but I would say around 5 or 6 years old. Around that time, they would have us in the kitchen and just constantly cooking. My mom, and she would constantly have my sister and myself in the kitchen with her, as well.
And what
as-
were some of your favorites to make?
Oh, it was mac and cheese, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Fried chicken. I love fish. I just love food anyway. I just love to eat.
I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you have one of their rolling pins?
No. No.
Because that, you always told, like, like my grandmother, she's another one, baked all of her pies,
Yes.
crust and the whole thing. And I've never tasted any. She used to make a pumpkin pie, but she would make it from regular pumpkins. She would go, it had to be these yellow pumpkins.
Okay.
And I've still never tasted anything like that.
Right.
But everybody wanted that rolling pin, because I guess everything's in there or
Yes,
something, the
yes.
mojo. I
Yes.
don't know,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
But there's something supposedly secretive in there that, I thought maybe you would have that. It was
And
just-
the rolling pin is one of those things in the kitchen that, you might get for a wedding gift or,
Yes.
these things that you accumulate. And
Exactly.
I would say that, half of the people don't know how to properly, use it, and it sits in the drawer. and it
I
takes-
guarantee these kids nowadays, they would
would
go,
know.
what is this thing?
Right.
I mean, do you ever watch these shows now where they, it's big on YouTube and stuff, and when they ask kids on the street, college graduates,
Oh,
it is
you mean
so-
questions
oh
about,
my- about,
just
like,
current?
countries, and they
yes.
come up with cities, and it's really
It's
sad.
very sad.
Yeah.
It's
Very
sad.
sad. It's like, oh my gosh.
And it's too much. But the reason
digress.
that I am so happy to have you here is because, well, first of all, I don't want to go past your childhood as far as what was instilled in you, because obviously you had great morals instilled in you.
Yes, sir.
You have a
Yes.
great heart instilled in you,
Thank you.
and I will say you have a great soul instilled in you.
Thank you.
Now, where did, I don't want to be missing anything as far as from your childhood up to what you're doing now, or what you started in 2014.
Right.
I know that was your dream, and we're going to get into that, but I don't want to miss anything that might be of importance in between that area.
Well, again, just to me, as you said, just being in the kitchen with my grandmother and even just seeing mom cook and that, you miss seeing that growing up. It meant a lot to me because it instills family, togetherness.
Quality time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Very
Exactly.
rarely exists
Right.
anymore.
And that's one thing my mom, every Sunday morning, she would get up and she would cook a very big breakfast. And even when my sister got married and she moved out, her and her husband and my niece and nephew would come over. And it was just always a family thing.
Yeah.
And it meant a lot to me. So when you have people together cooking, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well,
It really
there's a
is.
difference between gathering at the table, which is also a very special experience, but I would imagine that it gives it an extra layer of fondness for you
Yes.
to have been part of the process
Yes.
of sitting down and what you're eating, and that everybody has had a part in it. I mean, I know the Italians are very big on
Yeah.
that with the big meals. Everybody
Right.
has their specialty that
Exactly.
they bring to the table, so to speak.
Yeah, well, like my whole childhood, Sunday was, you got dressed, no matter, I don't care, went to Robert Hall's, you had the suit, the hat, the whole thing. And it was three
Halls.
brothers and my sister, so we usually had the same suits,
Right.
And you went to church,
Yes, a must.
and then you went home. You
I
had
had
a
the
little
veil.
something,
Yeah,
and then you went to your grandma's.
Exactly.
And every cousin, every uncle, every great uncle, every aunt, everybody was there. But that was every Sunday of my life. And there was no option B. That's where you were
Right.
going.
Exactly.
Not that I never wanted to go. I mean, maybe in my teens, like, it was like, do I have to go? But my whole childhood, I loved that. I loved sitting with the elders and listening to the stories,
Yep.
like even
Right.
while the kids were out playing. I used to love to listen to the older
And I
people.
didn't do it every single week, but we would travel into Queens, and the added bonus was when my grandfather would play the accordion, you know. And,
My brother had to play the
and-
accordion on Sundays too.
Excellent.
Yeah,
But that's what's missing, and even now, when you do, if you can get a family together at a table,
really.
and someone takes a picture of that setting, I guarantee probably 9 out of 10 have a phone in front of their face like this, right? Very sad, very sad, because the family unit, it's just like disintegrating, and, I mean, that was always a
It's a
great
big
part
thing.
of it,
It's
you
a
know?
big
Well, the
thing.
best idea when you're out to dinner to get everybody to put their cell phones down, and the first person to touch their cell phone during dinner has to pay. That
Good
would,
idea.
That's a great
Good-
idea. I
good
mean, that
idea.
should be automatic too,
Yeah.
because, it's very rarely you can get everybody together to begin with. And then they're gonna
Right.
sit there and be looking at videos of God knows what or whatever have you. But, I think it's, so I feel where you're coming from, where, because I had the same thing, and I missed that. I don't even have it with my own family like that, because
Right.
really, no one really cooks a big meal anymore, and,
well, so much has changed. I think that the
yeah.
priorities have
I mean, that's why I
changed,
look
and-
forward to the holidays, because my mother will do and I love going there for
Yeah,
that,
and whether we have 2 people or 20 people, I still make the same amount of food.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and then I'll package it up and send it out to neighbors, which they're always grateful. You're too far.
Neighbors. Yeah, I'll be seeing you every Monday now, girl.
Bring some down for
Yeah,
him.
well, we sometimes have an extra party the next day to invite people over to eat everything up.
So with this passion, I guess now from that was instilled with you, where did it come to where you wanted to, well, I know your dream was to have your own restaurant,
Yes,
which
yes.
I do know how hard that is to do,
Yes.
believe me, I know. It's a
Yes.
very, 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 very difficult thing to do.
You're married to the,
Oh, my God, but even
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
getting into it is a nightmare. It's
Yes.
just
It
a
is.
nightmare.
It is.
I mean, it took us 7 months.
I remember.
And so where, that was your dream, right?
Yes.
Was this always your dream?
It's always been my dream. It's just getting, like you said, getting it started and not knowing where to begin. I started out catering for my niece, at which it was what started to be like just little things that I would do. People from her guests from her daughter's birthday party would say, oh wow, the food was great. So then every year she used me, and then I started printing up little menus, and then from there, people started calling me to cater for their, for their events, and it just took off that way. It started out from just, again, the love for cooking, and then from there, catering for family events, and then it just went on so on, and it took off like
All right,
that.
now, you got to fulfill your dream. Was that the first restaurant?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
and that was 2014.
Yes.
So now you open this restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
okay, which is called Carolyn's Cuisine, right?
Yes.
It's on Broadway, what's the number?
179 Broadway.
179 Broadway in Amityville, New York, right across the street from the Triangle. Anybody from the island that knows where that is, and it's right there. But when, the thing that really tugged at my heart with you is your heart.
Oh,
And where did the premise of, that you want to give of yourself and feed people that can't afford to feed themselves?
it was last year, a woman named Elizabeth from the Amityville Moms Group. She posted about a friend of hers that was sick, and she did ask everyone to please send this person a card. So I felt, listen, I got all this food here. I'm not going to just send this man a card. I'm going to pack up some food, and I'm going to take a card, and I asked, I called her up and said, hey, where does he live? She told me the address and went over. He was not there, but I left the food with his neighbor. But she said that he called her back up and said that when he did get the food, that he could not believe that a total stranger that did not know him would come with food and just to give it to him. He's never experienced that before. So I thought about what she said. I said, you know what, I'm going to make sure he has a meal every weekend, and I did. And then I started thinking, how many more people are there out there like him? Maybe if they're sick or if they're homeless, and they just wish that they can go to a restaurant and they can't, but they can't. Maybe they don't have the means, or maybe they're sick, whatever their situation is.
It's funny though, I hate to cut you, but it's so funny how you could see in just what you just said, how the world has changed.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's shocking for someone to do
Oh,
something
yes.
like that.
Right.
You know, like, because I mean, I know myself, if I walk into a diner or any store, and if, God forbid, a kid opens a door, I'm literally shocked at something that was automatic for me, and still
Right.
automatic for me.
Right.
And I usually do stand there 20 and then no one says thank you.
Right.
But I mean, how sad, but I just had to bring that up and let people be aware of that. I mean, that was just something, that would have never been uncommon back in our day. I
Exactly.
mean, everybody
We
kind of took care of everybody, you know?
Exactly,
Exactly.
yes.
So, I said, what can I do? And so then I started thinking, I don't know if you ever seen Pathmark when they have the little cards and
Yes.
they would ask you to donate and they would put your name on
Yes.
the card and you put it on the
Yes.
window. Okay, so I started this program. It's called Carolyn's Cares. And I would ask people to donate a meal to someone in need, and they would write a message on a heart and then put it on a wall. I made a wall. It says Carolyn Cares, and they would put that message on the
Yeah,
wall.
you gotta see it. It's really,
And within that, the person that is in need, they will come and take that heart, and they would give it to either myself or my children help me out with the restaurant, and we would fill their order, and they could either eat it there or take it with them free of charge, because someone, like maybe
Right.
you or you, have donated that meal for them.
Very nice.
Yeah.
and I would like to interject there also too, please, I mean, this goes for everybody out on Long Island. I mean, Broadway Amityville is 110. It's right in the middle. If you're passing by, just stop there. If you have any kind of heart or soul, or you just feel like doing something good or making yourself feel good, what is it, $7.50?
It's $7.50. There's a $7.50 meal and there's an $8.50 meal.
Yeah. Now, for $7.50, which nowadays, you can't go to the movies for $7.50, you can donate to them. They're gonna put your name or your message up on the wall, and not only are you gonna feed someone that cannot feed themselves, but you might actually save their life.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
it could actually be that critical for $7.50. So I urge everybody out there, please, if you're passing on 110, which, believe me, I have a store on 110, and there's a lot of traffic on 110, just pull over, walk in, right?
Yes.
$7.50, you're
Yes,
done.
Exactly.
I just had to throw that in there.
Thank you.
So how's it been going? I mean, the response, how is the response from the village?
Well, the village, I can say that they're very supportive. I love Amityville, I really do, and especially in that little triangle area. It seems like all the merchants, and they all just stick together.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's not like, oh, it's your business and that's my business. No, it seems like we all take care of one another, and we like to
Like it
promote
should
one
be.
another.
Like it
you know?
should be.
Exactly. We promote one another, because when one goes there, then someone else comes here, so we have to stick together.
Right.
And I really do like it.
Right. Well, I think it's a phenomenal idea.
It's
I've
a
been
wonderful
there.
idea.
I've seen it. I've left money there for it.
Now, have you thought about inviting other, establishments to do the same thing? In other areas, I'm just saying, like, where you can only do what you can do, but,
Oh, anyone can do it.
right.
Yeah, anyone
But I'm
can do
saying, you thought of it. And that's half, that's half the genius of it, is the person who thinks of it.
it. Right.
But I was just curious if you had thought at all of sharing this experience with other restaurants to say, this is what it would take.
Or has any other restaurants said, hey,
Well, there
should we?
was one particular restaurant that just recently opened up across the street from your place. They did actually donate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I know I have not gone to anyone yet to ask.
Because
if
it
they
would be a
wanna do it.
terrific
Yeah.
thing to do, not only in Amityville. That's my thinking, is that, there's
be
so
It
many
should be
people.
done everywhere.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's so many people in need all over, Long Island.
And also too is, what I think is good about where she is that I would think that most people, because we had this conversation on the way here. I asked her, do you get a lot of people that are faking it a little bit? Because that would be, right away, that's my antenna went up with that. And she said, she only had one incident, and it was only a half an incident. But the thing that I think is great about it, I would hope that most people that are in that predicament are too proud.
Well, yes.
And the way she does it, it's not
Well,
like,
maybe
no
that's
one has
what-
to know their business,
Right,
and,
but how do they find you? How do you bring,
Well, wow. I have some churches that actually, from in the area, they know that I do it, and they will send people down to me. I guess if they're coming to, I guess they have a pantry or whatever, they will send them to me. If I can, I wanted to tell you how I met one particular person. He was sitting in front of a gas station. I went in to pay for my gas. I came out, he asked me for money. And I'm going to be honest with you, you have to be careful who you're giving money to because you don't know what they're using it
Right.
for. But, so when he asked me, I said I don't have it, which I really didn't. I had just a certain amount, a large bill. So I walked away, but when I walked away, my heart started feeling really heavy. So then I went back, I don't know what made me just turn around, I went back and I talked to him, and he really was hungry. I did ask him if I can just buy him a sandwich, and he was so accepting of it, and he says, yes, I'm hungry. So I went and bought him a sandwich. We came back out, and I told him about the program that I started, and him and his girlfriend would come. And then come to find out that they were living in a tent. They were both homeless,
Oh,
living
wow.
in a tent, and she was pregnant.
wow.
So it makes me feel good that I'm glad that I was able to help them and I turned back around.
You know, I
and the
want to,
nourishment that you gave that unborn child.
I
Yes,
want
exactly.
to just inject this in there because I hear this a lot. And this is awesome that you rethought it and went back but I hear it all the time that I happened to have been on a set. We were in a bus just having lunch, and this homeless man was going through the garbage. And, everyone was like oogling him, and it was, very uncomfortable. I had to go to the bathroom, so I took out a 10, and they were all collecting like a banana here and an orange here and bread, like little from their snack trays. And I said, do me a favor, give the guy the 10. And they're like, you can't do that. You can't do that because he's just gonna go buy booze with it. And my answer was, I'm not investing in what he's going to do with it. I'm
Right.
investing in giving him the choice.
Right.
And if nobody gives these people money, they will never have the choice to choose differently.
Exactly.
I went to the back of the bus, I went to the bathroom, I came back, and by the time I came back, everybody else was reaching in their pockets for money. And she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, that was the coolest thing I ever saw,
Right.
was how it changed everybody. And they're thinking that, when you give, you have to give freely
Right.
without judging
Right.
what that gift is going to do, how it's going to be used. It's in the universe,
Right.
okay?
Right.
And I'm very glad that you went back because, it is a common
Right.
thought that that's what they're going to do. But one day they may choose differently.
Right.
And maybe it's that one time that you turned around and made a difference.
Exactly.
Well, I have done that many times, and I've done where, and Janine could tell you too, I mean, I've done it so many times where I've seen someone, and I said, I just come over, I go, I don't say you need money, I go, are you hungry?
Right.
And they say, yeah, I really, and you can usually tell.
Tell.
Say, come on with me.
Right.
And I'll go in a deli and I'll say, well, give them a sandwich or whatever it is, but, I get your, I get your
That's
thing
wonderful,
too,
but a lot
yeah.
of times when I'm in the city, which is when I experience this the most, I'm rushing to make a
Yeah,
call, and
no,
they
I
don't
get it.
understand that you were helping somebody. So, I'll bend down, if it's a 5, whatever, I put it in the thing and I say, God bless you.
Yeah.
And then, usually they're very, very grateful. I mean, right in my hometown in Port Jefferson,
Sure.
there was a guy outside of a convenience store. I literally had the last of the money I had.
Right.
And in an instant, my first instinct was to say, no, leave me alone kind of thing. But in seconds, I processed, you never ever see anybody down here doing this.
Right.
This is something unusual.
Right.
And I had the last amount of money in my hand going to my car, and I just handed it over.
Right.
And you just have to keep doing that. But buying them, a meal, doing that. I think it's all ways that we can try to help one another, without,
The way it
any-
used to be.
Yes,
The way it
yeah.
And that's
used
the
to be.
sad thing, that's the sad thing about it, is that I feel that as human beings, we should care about one another. I mean, honestly, when you see somebody in need, you should care. And-
Well, that's why I hate to get off the subject, but that's why I started that page on Facebook called the Woodstock Guru.
Right.
It has really nothing to do with the actual, not that it doesn't have anything to do, but I was 17 years old and I was at Woodstock.
Right.
It was the kindness that I saw go on for those 4 days that we were there,
Yeah.
that I will never forget it,
And you hear
people
that a
I
lot.
didn't know,
Yeah.
if a guy had a sandwich, they took a bite and they didn't even look, they just passed it. We had nothing, you had 500,000 people in mud, rain, no shelter, no nothing.
Right.
And people, you had no water, we had nothing, and people were just, and there wasn't a fight, there wasn't an argument, there wasn't not one thing. went
Peaceful,
bad.
easy feeling.
There was
Right,
2
right.
deaths, one by accident, one I think on overdose, and there were 2 births. But other than that, there was not a problem.
Right. Right.
And it was complete,
And probably a lot of births to be expected as a result.
No comment.
Just
right?
saying, just saying.
no, I was 17, I was you.
Oh, okay.
But we only have like another minute or two, but I want you people at home to know that we are gonna have a part 2 to this, because this is a very, very, very special subject, and I think it's something that really, the world really needs to know
Oh.
about, and maybe open up some more doors for other people
For other
to show
people to
some
do
kindness.
what you're
and,
doing,
'cause,
absolutely.
I have so much respect for that anyway.
Thank you.
And we want to get you out there, so we are going to end this segment of the show, and we are going to have a part 2, so don't go away. We're going to start right away, and we're going to be right back with the Long Island View.